and I've never seen anything like what we've seen in AI for the past 2 years. I feel like these days you can't open a newspaper or look at any article online without hearing some news story about a feature OpenAI is launching, or a risk of how generative AI is going to change our schooling or change how we think about content online. It's pretty clear from all of this you're getting bombarded with that the world is changing. LLMs and generative AI over the past 2 years have unlocked an incredible new way for humans to work with computers. LLMs are fantastic at that. They understand language. We've had AI for decades, but never something that approaches the ease of use and power that LLMs have had over the past 2 years. At the same time, it's also pretty clear that we have some unrealistic expectations right now. Half those articles are claiming like no human's going to have a job anymore, and robots are going to take over everything, and people won't be able to do anything better than an LLM. And I'm not an AI hype person. I think a lot of that's crap. I think we have a lot of expectations right now that aren't going to be realized, and we'll see some disillusionment over the next couple of years as we start to get into the actual meat of working with AI and figuring out sort of what those use cases are best for. Now at Tulip, we've been playing with LLMs since the first models came out of OpenAI, and we've started to notice a couple trends and patterns, places where we think they're really valuable in manufacturing, where they can really help you work with people in your operations. We've sort of categorized those into 3 main areas. First up here on the left is the frontline worker, the person on the shop floor. They're doing a task or inspecting a part for quality. How can an LLM help them do their job better, find the information that they need, and do their job more effectively? On the right here, we're seeing it really fundamentally change how data is being analyzed. Maybe you know SQL or a BI tool. Those are great tools to help you understand and dig into your data, but LLMs can offer a really new natural interface into thinking and working with large volumes of data. And then in the center, development. I'm a software engineer at heart, and I don't write code anymore without using ChatGPT. It's become an essential part of my workflow, and we see that change coming to manufacturing as well. Now, instead of just talking about slides and nice graphics, let me dig into Tulip's product, and I want to show you how these 3 areas are changing what we're building today. So over here, I have the Tulip library. Natan showed this off earlier and showed off the different use cases that we have supported here. I'm going to go grab one of those applications we were looking at, the order management app. And I'm going to go ahead and install that into my Tulip instance. So I have my demo instance here, and I'm adding it. Brings me over to there, where I'm going to confirm my install and install that app from our composable MES suite, which is a great starting point for many common operations and use cases that we see from Tulip and factories. So we'll install this and hit install. This is downloading it and putting it into my instance so I can then modify and continue to use it in whatever way I need it. Let's dive in. This is the Tulip app editor. This is where you can use that no-code environment to come and build a custom application for your operations. We'll take a look at this step here. I'll get rid of these notices. And you can see the layout here for a screen to pick work instructions. There's a table that shows all open work instructions, some information about the current selected one, and then buttons to progress to the next part in the application. Now, all of this is in our no-code editor. These are all widgets that I can configure and drag to lay out and make my application and solve the problem that I need solved, not the problem that Tulip thought I need solved. I can adapt this application to do whatever I need it to. It's as simple to add logic on top of this as well. Let's actually do some of that now. I'm going to add a new button here. Call it report defect. Let's go ahead and make that red because it's an error. And I'm going to say on this defect step, add a new action. Where is that? There we go. App. Right. Add a transition. Go to step. Next, and we'll delete this, hit save, and now my app will take me to the next step, or my button will take me to the next step in my process. So we'll go ahead and add that next step. And on this step, we're going to bring in Tulip's Frontline Copilot, one of the ways we've started to use LLMs within the product. Go ahead here to embed, pull up Frontline Copilot, and I have a new little chat widget that I can embed within the application. Now I'm going to give some data to this table, to this chat widget. I'll go ahead and pick the issue and resolution table, Now, a Tulip table is a data model behind an application. You can think of it like a database, but instead of having to go and write SQL or some low-level thing to interact with it, you can use it through Tulip. I'm going to hit train on this table, and now Copilot is training on the contents of that table. If we go and look at that table, you can see here we have all of our columns, we have some issues that are being reported, and then the fix as well. So in this operation, operators and people on the shop floor have been going through, and whenever they find an issue, they're recording how they fixed it as well. Now, this is based on a situation we saw with one of our customers. They had 10,000 rows in this table of issues and fixes that they had found from real production. That was super valuable information. It was tribal knowledge that they had earned over thousands of iterations of this process to find and fix all of these problems. But there was so much data in there, they couldn't use it anymore, right? They would scan through and there's so much information buried in here, so many little pieces that could help them improve their operations. On the generation side, I'm excited to preview a feature we're going to be launching in about 2 months from Tulip, what we're calling app generation. This will allow Copilot to take your PDFs, these might be work instructions or a form, any old static document you have, and automatically convert them into an application for you. Now here we're applying human-in-the-loop AI. It's not going and just creating an application for you that you can't edit or use or iterate on. It's first showing you the information it's extracting from that PDF, allowing you to tweak it, edit it, make any changes that you might need to, and then you hit generate and it turns it into a live editable application. It's not just the straight format of the PDF, but actually breaking it out into relevant steps and pieces to give you a better starting point. I was talking to a customer of ours recently that has about 2,000 different PDFs of different parts and instructions that they've produced over the years. They're now switching to Tulip, and this is going to dramatically speed up how quickly they can get started in Tulip and get going on their first day. Now, if you want to see any of these features in action, we have a booth set up at the back where you can see the app editor, tables, and play around with Copilot if you're interested in seeing more. One last note to close this off here. We're engineers. We like our first principles. These were the 4 areas that we started with when we set out to build Copilot. First of all, we wanted it to be human-centric. We see these new tools as ways to help improve humans and make them more efficient, not as a way to replace them. It's a co-pilot, it's not a replacement. 2, we wanted to really make sure we cared about security. We have full per customer data isolation, making sure that no one customer's data can influence another's. We know that your data is sensitive, and you don't want that showing up in someone else's output from their model. Whenever possible, we want to say, I don't know. We don't want hallucinations. We want you to be able to trust the data. Whenever we can say and put guardrails on the output of that chat, we'll do that instead of making up an answer. And then lastly, we work with our vendors. First and foremost, AWS here. We use AWS Bedrock with Claude to make sure that no data is saved by any of those vendors, that your data, again, remains your data. Thanks so much for all the time today. And if you're interested in learning more about Tulip and Copilot, come check us out at the back.